In this forest, you are listening to a voice that no longer exists. That call you just heard was not a performance, and it was not a recording session. It was a search. For thousands of years, this song had an answer, a second voice, a mate. But in 1987, there was no one left to answer. This is the saddest bird story that you will ever hear. Don't just watch this video, remember it. Long before humans arrived in Hawaii, evolution was busy doing something extraordinary. On the island of Kauaʻi, in forest draped in mist and moss, a glossy black bird moved through the canopy. It had curved tail feathers, bright yellow feather tufts beneath its wings, and a clear, ringing song that carried through the trees. It was Kauaʻi ʻōʻō. Not just a species, an entire evolutionary lineage found nowhere else on Earth. The ʻōʻō belonged to a group once thought to be Hawaiian honey-eaters, but genetic research later revealed something more astonishing. They were not honey-eaters at all. They were their own ancient family, the moho genus, a completely unique branch of the tree of life. When this bird disappeared, it wasn't just a species that vanished, it was the end of its entire lineage. For thousands of years, the ʻōʻō thrived in Kauaʻi's native forests. It fed on nectar, insects, and fruit. It nested high in the trees. It had no mammalian predators, because none existed, until humans arrived. Polynesians first settled Hawaii around 1,000 years ago. Later, Western contact brought something far more destructive. Rats, pigs, cats, mosquitoes. Forests were cleared, native ecosystems fragmented. And perhaps, most devastating of all, the avian malaria and avian pox arrived, carried by mosquitoes. Hawaiian birds had evolved in isolation. They had no immunity. Species that had thrived for millennia began to disappear within decades. By the early 1900s, the ʻōʻō had already retreated into high elevated forests where mosquitoes struggled to survive. By the 1970s, surveys estimated only a few dozen individuals remained, 36 birds. By 1981, research documented just one pair, 2 birds. And when a species reaches 2, the margin for error disappears. In 1983, Hurricane Iwa struck Kauaʻi. The storm tore through forests, snapping trees and shredding habitat. After Iwa, researchers could only find one ʻōʻō, a male. His mate was never seen again. She likely died in the storm. And just like that, an entire species was reduced to a single voice. That male Kauaʻi ʻōʻō was singing a mating duet. That's important. The ʻōʻō did not sing solo love songs. The male would sing a phrase, then pause, and then a female would respond, back and forth. A biological conversation. But in this recording, you hear the pauses, and no one answers. When researchers played the recording back to him, he approached the sound as if expecting a reply. He was not performing, he was searching for a mate that no longer existed, for a species that no longer existed. That recording from 1987 is the last confirmed evidence of the Kauaʻi ʻōʻō alive. No verified sightings ever followed. No feathers, no nests, just silence. The Kauaʻi ʻōʻō was officially declared extinct in 2000, later removed from the federal protection list. But extinction didn't happen on the day it's declared. It happens in stages. When forests were cleared, when mosquitoes spread disease, when invasive mammals raided nests, when hurricanes destroyed the last habitat, and then finally when the last female disappeared. The bird once had companions, it had a mate, it once lived in a forest full of its kind. Extinction is rarely dramatic, it's usually quiet, until one day there is no answer. Many species have vanished, so why does this one stay with us? Because we can hear it. We can hear the silence between notes. Most extinctions leave no soundtrack. This one did. And the Kauaʻi ʻōʻō wasn't just the last of a species, it was the last of an entire lineage. A branch of evolution permanently and forever erased. There will never be another Kauaʻi ʻōʻō. Its song exists only because someone happened to press record in 1987. Today, conservationists try to protect other Hawaiian birds from that same fate. Mosquito control, habitat restoration, captive breeding programs. Some species are hanging on by a thread, just as the ʻōʻō once was. Some still have only 2 birds left, or 10 or 50, and somewhere in forests across the world there may be other songs growing quieter. The Kauaʻi ʻōʻō's final call was not dramatic, it was not angry, it was not aware that he was the last. It was simply doing what it had always done, singing, waiting, pausing, for an answer that would never come. Wow, what a sad story. We should care because extinction is not just the loss of an animal, it is the erasure of something the universe will never create again. The Kauaʻi ʻōʻō did not fail, nature did not fail, we did. The forces that ended its song were not mysterious cosmic accidents. They were habitat destruction, invasive species, and climate shifts driven by human hands. And that truth comes with responsibility. If we are powerful enough to reshape ecosystems, introduce disease, and tip species into silence, then we're powerful enough to prevent it. Protecting our planet isn't a charity towards wildlife. It is stewardship. It is accountability. It is recognizing that we inherited a living world that we did not build, and choosing not to be the generation that leaves it quieter than we found it. Thanks for tuning in and listening, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.